Good morning, everyone. Good morning. It is February 13th. It's a Thursday, and this is day 13 of 4:44 a.m.s with Michelle. I'm so glad you guys could all join me. I look forward to starting our fifth and final core foundations this morning, which is movement. So we've talked about our God time. We have talked about getting our adequate amount of sleep and how to track that. We have talked about our water intake and how much water we're getting a day. We have talked about nutrition, and we spent quite a few days on that. And so today we are going to start the fifth one, which is movement. Good morning, Tammy. It's good to see you again. All right, so movement. The first thing I want to do is talk about why the fifth element is movement and not exercise. So we are going to talk about the movement aspect mainly today, and then we'll cover what exercise is and the big difference tomorrow. So I want to read you guys a verse, which is Proverbs 31:17. And it says, "She sets about her work vigorously. Her arms are strong for her tasks." So this is talking about the Proverbs 31 woman and the attributes that she has. But what I like about this one verse is it actually encompasses both parts, both movement and exercise. So what movement is all that bodily movement involves muscles and expended energy. So all of the nutrition that we're bringing in, where we talked about energy in, energy out, is done and used in physical activity. So when we talk about movement, from that verse, it says she sets about her work. So when we're talking about that, it's the simple movements of the day. It's playing with our kids. It's walking around, doing things around the house. It's going to and from the grocery store and other different aspects. It's that physical movement of the things that we do daily. If we think about, 20 or 30, 40 years ago, it's very different than it is today. Even I think back then we had to get up and change the channel. We didn't have a remote to do it from the couch. We didn't have a robot vacuum that vacuumed our house for us. We had to do those things. And that is really where our society today has lost a lot of its movement. If you think about Jesus and the disciples back in the Bible times, they literally walked everywhere. So our bodies were made to have movement and daily movement in it, and we're lacking a lot of that today. So that is why the fifth element of the foundation is movement and not exercise. It also talks in Genesis 3:8, where when the man and his wife heard the sound of the Lord, he was walking in the garden. Even back then, the Lord walked, Jesus walked. Walking is important. One of my favorite things to do is to park far back when I go to Walmart, Kroger, JC, wherever I'm going, and take those extra steps to get into the store and get a little extra movement in. So I challenge you, as one of your movement tasks, is to start parking farther away and start really getting those extra steps in. And maybe you're parking in the normal spot, and the next time you park one farther, or the next farther down the next day. And it just gets you to move back a little bit and get that extra movement in. The other one is exercise, and it says her arms are strong for the tasks. Exercise are planned activities, and there's a million different exercises that we can do, which we'll talk about over the course of the next couple days. But exercise really has a plan and a purpose. It's structured and it's repetitive. 1 Corinthians 9:26-27 says, Therefore I do not run like someone, I still can't do it. Therefore, I do not run like someone running aimlessly. I do not fight like a boxer beating the air. So if you think about this, the fact that there is purpose, this is showing that there clearly isn't purpose, and that exercise needs that purpose. One of the other things about our movement is it's really a act of worship. Romans 12:1 says, Therefore I urge you, brothers and sisters, in view of God's mercy, to offer your body as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to God. This is your true and proper worship. So he gave us this great body, and in order to do his purposes, we've got to start moving. So it really is an act of worship, not just something that we have to do. And if we think about that and doing all things for the glory of the Lord, then this really can be one of them. The last thing is he tells us to strengthen ourselves. Hebrews 12:12 says, therefore strengthen your feeble arms and your weak knees. We've got to start looking at our movement and our exercise and our health in terms of strengthening it. Where you are today is not where you should be tomorrow. Not that everyone needs to be a bodybuilder that looks like the muscle men, but really what your body, what your unique body needs from a health standpoint. So the last thing on movement is movement really helps develop that exercise. And the less weight that you carry around, the less calories you need to burn. The movement as a daily life doesn't have to be a crazy exercise plan. We'll talk about some exercise tomorrow, but really it's just that movement aspect. So the challenge part of it is the goal of 30 minutes of planned activity during the day. Planned is because there are people's jobs that every day they are very physical jobs, or they're walking to and from their desk to somewhere else. That is not planned activity. While it is movement, your body has gotten used to that. So the goal is to get 30 minutes of planned activity. And that activity can be anything. It can be swimming, biking, running, boxing. There are so many different options. The big thing is pick something that you like to do. If you don't like to run, don't choose running because you won't want to do it and it'll make it very hard to do it. So that planned activity. The other common misconception is that all 30 minutes have to be done at the same time. You can break that 30 minutes up into 10-minute sections. Maybe you only have 10-minute breaks and you want to go walk on your break. Get that movement going, even if it's in 10-minute increments throughout the day. Last is the bonus. So when we move into exercise out of movement, you really got to understand your heart rate and what that is doing to your body. So a bonus is if you can track your heart rate every day. There's so many different ways to do that. Also, there's blood. A lot of watches even do your heart rate now, as well as you can buy a heart rate monitor that can go around your chest or your arm or your wrist. There's so many different options, so don't let that stop you. All right, so your tasks for today, your action items. Look at your days and see where you can fit in 30 minutes of movement, planned activity, and choose what that activity you want it to be. And then the bonus of that is start looking at how to track your heart rate. You can do it manually, grab a device to do it, use your watch, whatever it may be. But that's the goal, is 30 minutes of planned activity, and bonus is tracking your heart rate. The other thing is hit subscribe on this so that you know when I go live again tomorrow, and give it a like so that other people can see. Also share it. Send it off to somebody that needs to know more. The fact that they think that they can't exercise doesn't mean that they can't incorporate movement into their daily activity. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for joining me. Katie jumped on too. I'm so happy to see you both. Have a great day. Bye, guys.